What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Eastpoint Students Podcast. We are your hosts, Adam and
Taylor.
In case you forgot or you're new, welcome. Taylor had a little bit of a story to tell, so let's hear it.
Yeah, this is actually kind of just a question, and I didn't prepare you for this, so I'm curious to see
Great.
what you're going to say, but I also noticed when I breathe into this mic, it makes a bad sound. So I'm going to try not to do that. Okay, quicksand. You're walking along a beach in Australia, and you're walking. All of a sudden, you get to a patch that looks the same as all the other sand, but then you start sinking, and pretty quickly. Both of your legs are in the quicksand, but your arms are out, and you start sinking up to like your kneecaps. What do you do? Well,
I got some follow-up questions. Am I by myself or am I with anybody?
By yourself.
I'm by myself. Is there anybody else?
No one's around.
No one's around.
This is physically what would you do? Because obviously you want to scream for help.
I think with quicksand, which I don't really think exists, I think.
It does.
Oh,
in
it
Australia.
Does. Only in Australia.
Not only.
It's like upside down sand, I guess. It makes it quick or something. I think you're supposed to not move very fast, right? I feel like I've heard that if you do this, you sink quicker. Is that right? Do you know this?
Yes.
As a
panic.
fact. Right.
It is, but it isn't.
Step 1, don't panic. Step 2 is look around and see if there are any branches nearby that you might be able to hold on to and pull yourself out. Step 3, step 3, if there are branches or something, you're done, you're out, you're safe. Other step 3, if there's nothing like that, I would try to walk upstairs, pretend there's stairs and see if it makes me.
That's very good.
You know?
That's very good. That's part of it.
Really?
Yeah, it actually is.
Looks like I'm a survivalist expert. So if that works, then you're safe. You're out of it. If that doesn't work, scream. Screaming's always good, especially at concerts, screamo concerts specifically. I don't know what else there is to do besides accept your fate and get sunk down, and then be in whatever evil layer you get sucked down to, and then you're just, I don't know, a slave or something down there. I don't know. Maybe is that hell? Is that how you get to hell? Am I allowed to say that?
Wow, you had some good answers for that. So I've watched so many videos on quicksand because it really fascinates me, because it's a real thing. A lot of beaches in Australia and New Zealand get closed because of quicksand. And
That's terrifying.
It doesn't stay in one spot. It moves with the tide. Isn't that insane?
You never know where it is.
No. And so what happens
Just
with
another
quicksand,
reason why I'm never going to Australia. Spiders
yeah.
and
Sharks.
moving quicksand. I don't really care that much about sharks.
Well, and so the thing happens that when you get stuck in quicksand, you start to panic and you try to move all over. And as you're moving, you just dig yourself deeper in it. And what happens is it compresses your body as you go down, and it is gross. It suffocates you and then you die. I know it's kind of scary, but the thing that he was talking about, you do want to wiggle a little bit, but what you want to do is you put pressure on your right foot and then you wiggle your left foot back and forth and slowly pick it up as you do that, and you go back and forth. So then you wiggle the other foot, wiggle that foot.
Make a little space.
And
swim up the sand.
Yep. The more surface area you have on quicksand, the less you'll sink easily. So if your whole body was laid down, you'd sink. It wouldn't be as quick as when you're on your 2 feet. You know what I mean? Because there's more pressure. Anyways, so wiggle side to side, slowly work your way up, lean onto your knees. And then I think one person crawled out of it to put more surface area to their body.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Try to go from this to
And then just go across. So
I hope you took notes.
that's it for that.
Because tomorrow you might get stuck in quicksand.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any quicksand in the U.S.
I don't think so. I thought it was a myth. But maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong once or twice.
Hold
or
on.
thrice. While you're looking it up, what are you drinking, Taylor?
Propel electrolytes, because it's really hot out today.
Nice.
What about you, Adam?
Coffee. Well, I brought a peach pear LaCroix with me, but there was coffee up front, and I caved. It's my third cup of the day. It's only 11:08 a.m.
Also, one more thing about quicksand, and then I'm going to be done.
You can say as many things about quicksand as you want, Taylor.
Have you guys ever mixed together baking soda and water?
You said you guys, but you're looking at me.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Not to my knowledge.
Okay, well, mix it together. And that is the same thing. It's the same type of substance as quicksand. So when you touch it, it's like hard and you can pick it up, but then slowly it melts in your hand.
Wait, what did you say to put together?
Baking soda and water.
Isn't it cornstarch and water?
Oh, cornstarch and water. Yeah, not baking soda. Sorry.
I have not done
You're
that,
so right.
but I've watched
It's
plenty
really
of YouTube videos about it. I think it's called like oobleck or something. It has like a name.
It's called... Yeah.
But people like run across it, and then if they stop moving, they sink into it. Yeah, that stuff's weird.
Weird, right?
It's a what's it called? It's a non-Newtonian fluid. I'm pretty sure it's oobleck.
Not oobleck.
And sometimes it's blue. If they put blue food coloring in it.
Weird.
We're getting off track.
Anyways, so moving on to our topic today, which is
Which is what to do when you're stuck.
Yes.
or what to do if you're waiting.
Yes.
That's what we were doing there, because we were making you
Quicksand.
wait for what we were saying.
Mm-hmm. And what to do when you just don't know what to do. Like when you're stuck in quicksand and you're on your vacation in Australia.
That's never going to happen, because I'm never going to Australia.
I want to go.
I mean, I want to go to Australia, but there's too many scary things to... There's like spiders the size of buildings.
Mm-hmm.
There's like other crazy animals. There's kangaroos,
Scorpions?
which are like jacked.
Yeah, they are.
That just like are as tall as you, and they just walk up to you and they're like, "What are you doing?" What did you say?
Scorpions, right?
Oh, scorpions are small.
But they
That's not-
sting you.
Yeah, but they're not quick. Like I feel like I could run away from a scorpion.
I'd be more scared of a scorpion than I would a...
It's not as creepy as a big spider. You can't crush a big spider. You can't squish a big spider. You have to like
It's
shoot it.
true.
You have to like get a gun and shoot it, or get a sword and like chop it up.
Okay. So,
We're really making you wait.
waiting.
Yeah.
What to do when you're waiting. So, what does waiting qualify as, or what does it mean when you're stuck? So, maybe when you're praying through something, or you're in a season of not transition, like maybe the things that you've been wanting to do aren't happening, and you're just kind of waiting, and you're praying and asking God to help you through that time period. Does that sound right?
Yeah. Just sitting around.
Just sitting around in your house doing nothing.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
Quarantine.
Well, I think that's a good point actually to start off with. So when you feel like you're waiting, or you're in the waiting, or you're kind of stuck and not sure what the future holds, I think that's a really big faith building time, like because you don't know what's going on. And it's a time that we don't all necessarily like I don't necessarily like that, but it is a time where you can really just trust God and build your trust and build your relationship with him, because if we could see everything that happened in the future, we wouldn't have to have faith.
It would be pretty boring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so practically, did you have something to say?
No, I was just going to say it would be like reading a bunch of spoilers about Infinity War and then seeing it or something like that.
Also, it'd be kind of scary if we could see the whole future.
You had to like know when you're going to die. Like, I feel like I'd try to avoid it.
Yeah. Like, I feel like
But then that would ruin, then I wouldn't, that would change. That's a whole different topic.
Whoa. Whoa. Okay, so when we're in that time period and we're unsure, what are some, I feel like we always talk about like practical things to do. And I feel like there's a basis that's always the same. And that's deepening and strengthening your relationship with God.
Yeah, it sounds kind of cliche, but yeah.
Yeah, it does sound so cliche, but in every situation, talking to God more and reading his word more is never a bad thing.
Yeah, it's always going to help in any situation.
And also, I feel like those time periods too are where you become like refined. Like you can work on things and you can really take a look at yourself and things that you might struggle with or things that you want to work on and pray about, or even like skill sets. And I don't know if you want to share, but Adam has really done a great job in refining his video and recording skill sets over the past year. I don't know if it's necessarily in the waiting, but like that's a cool thing to be able to do at any time. So if we have the time where we're like, I don't know what to do next, we could always work on skill sets and stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and part of that could be like if you're waiting and maybe God puts on like some passion on you or some, even if it's like a hobby kind of thing, like that can be a good time to practice those kind of things, like learning guitar or learning how to sing or learning video editing skills that you don't think are going to ever come in handy. And then a quarantine hits and you have to make videos for youth group. I could never have like foreseen that, right? But like I had taken time in the past to like realize those kind of passions, or not even passions, but just like interests that seem like so random, or like they're not tied to any sort of ministry or anything like that. But then God will just use those kind of things in seemingly random ways. But yeah, that's all I had to say.
No, that reminds me, that's so good. That reminds me just that there's a season. We go through a whole bunch of different seasons in life, and they all serve a purpose or prepare us for something that God wants us to do with him. And I think I brought this verse up last time, but it's Ecclesiastes 3:1, and it says there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. And that's a verse that I've had to cling to when things just like don't make sense. And I'm like, I'm not doing the stuff that I thought I would do. Or, for me, like a year and a half ago, I was just like in this time period where I felt like I was just waiting and not knowing what was next. So I just trusted that, okay, well, maybe it's just the time period for me to spend time with family and friends and really get to know you more, God, even if it feels like I'm not doing a whole bunch of things, if that makes any sense. But I just love that verse, and it can make even the time periods of waiting feel like they have a purpose, because they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you feel sad while you're waiting, or is that illegal?
It's illegal. You'll get arrested on the spot if a cop sees you walking the streets being all sad. No, of course not. I mean, to an extent, you can't really control your emotions in those kind of situations, but you can control how, like, you let those emotions control what you do about it. Like, you could sit around and be mopey and be like, oh, I'm sad. like when I got home from college, I was really sad because I had, like, it all ended really fast. Like I thought I had all this time and I had really great friends and all these fun things to do at school and like kind of a sense of purpose because I was helping to lead worship in chapel and stuff. And then I got home and all my friends live out in the Midwest. And I was like, just like really sad about how that season had ended. And I had no idea what was going to be next. And I let myself be sad for like a couple weeks and just no progress was made at all. I was just like, I don't want to say depressed because some people are depressed actually. And this really isn't that big of an issue, but I was just like sad all the time. But then I had to like kind of make myself stop being sad in a way, not like ignoring the feelings, but just kind of taking control of the feelings, I guess, or just trying to elevate other feelings over the sadness. And like some ways of that would be like, I don't know, looking for a job or learning some skill or practicing guitar or something like that. So yeah, you can definitely be sad in the times, but you just can't let the sadness like control it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think that's a cool thing about following Jesus is we don't have to be ashamed of our emotions. Like Jesus felt so many emotions. So we can talk to God about exactly how we're feeling, but we also don't have to let the emotions rule our days. Like we can feel a certain way. And maybe some days I know, at least for me, when I'm feeling a certain emotion, I maybe just don't deal with it the best way. Like some days I just have mopey days and that just happens. But Jesus does really help us walk with him. And we don't have to let those emotions control us because we follow Jesus. And so we can still persevere through those times where we're feeling sad or unsure or scared or all of those things. And he can be our courage and our strength to help us walk through those seasons. So that's something I constantly feel grateful for because I am just an emotional human being.
Yeah, same.
I need help. But that's all I have. What about you?
Yeah.
Emotions.
Yeah, same.
Cool. Well, you want to
Do the
thing?
The outro?
Yeah.
Well, see you later.
Peace.
See you next time.
Bye.